Hello, everyone. I'm Lipót from Cloudera. I started roughly 1.5 years ago in the Budapest office. I'm going to talk about the office itself a little bit more as well, but basically it's opened 3 years ago, so I have kind of an experience how we grow and how we build up the office in the region. Let's start with what we just heard in the previous presentation as well. So why even we can talk about machine learning nowadays? Well, in the last couple of decades, we experienced that in computer science that the amount of data what we handle in our systems is just growing exponentially. And fortunately, at the same time, the cost of compute going down. So roughly in the middle of 90s or maybe early 2000s, it just opened the opportunity for age of machine learning. At the same time, the economists just recently declared that the most valuable resource on Earth right now is data. At the same time, if we look at the European Union, by 2020, it can be the value of the economy, data economy, can be more than 700 billion euros, and that would represent around 4% of the total GDP of the European Union. It is a huge market, and obviously it grows day by day. If we look at the 5 top companies based on S&P 500, tech companies, which is the Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon, their revenue and value has been growing exponentially in the last couple of years. And the only reason they can be so successful, because these companies are data-driven companies. They use their data, what they gather about us, basically, so they know more about ourselves that probably know about ourselves. They use all the data, what we like, what we buy, what kind of relationship we have, and many others as well. We play on this market, and at Cloudera we believe that data, what we can't use today, or we don't use today, can make what is impossible today possible tomorrow. If you look at a couple of key machine learning business teams where we offer solutions to our customers, basically we have 3 different main patterns. The first one is the pattern recognition, where you can understand the market, where you try to sell something, you can segment the market, you can have customer insights, 360 insights, and many other things. The other one is connected to cybersecurity, so you can implement machine learning systems for anomaly detection, which can detect frauds. It is very important for financial institutions, obviously. And the third one is prediction. So it is mainly for manufacturing and healthcare. So if you have a production system, you can implement predictive maintenance, or in healthcare, you can customize treatment for individuals, you can prevent diseases, and there are many other use cases as well. We have right now more than 700 customers who runs on Spark, provided by Cloudera, which is the main engine for machine learning. This is a very interesting article from HBR, the Harvard Business Review. They filtered many companies, many organizations, and it turned out that less than 50% of their structured data, which is the old classic transactional data, databases, data warehouses, is used for business decisions. Which is even more scary, less than 1% of their unstructured data used for anything. Unstructured data can be email messages, audio files, video files, clickstream data, anything what you can collect and you don't store it in a database that we consider unstructured data. Basically, the whole world is just ignoring unstructured data right now. The other scary thing is connected to security. More than 70% of employees of these organizations have access to data what they shouldn't have to access. That's a huge problem, and if we just look back recent events, we just introduced GDPR in the EU. That's a huge problem right now globally. But despite the fact that these organizations have no clue about their unstructured data, they realize they should do something with their data. So right now they employ professionals who can analyze data. This is what we call usually data scientists. And it turned out 80% of their time, they don't spend analyzing data. They try to collect data, structure data, move data. If we can help that process, they can focus on analyzing data instead of structuring. So automotive machine learning techniques can be used instead of their time. And that's very, very useful for them. If you look at Cloudera, we are founded back in 2008 by a few big data innovators from Google, Amazon, and Oracle, and Yahoo as well. These 4 guys just realized that they have so much opportunities in the big data world, and that the technology, what they had at that time, they used it at those companies. They realized they could build up a platform and they could build up a business on that. Right now, we have more than 1,600 employees around the world in 28 different countries. We still believe we saved the startup culture somehow, but obviously it's not a startup anymore. We have more than 3,000 partners around the world, and our expansion is pretty huge, more than 140% net expansion rate each year, and roughly 50% customer growth year by year. We deliver the model platform for machine learning and analytics optimized for the cloud, which is enterprise-grade, secure, scalable, and basically it runs anywhere. So it can run in the cloud, in multi-cloud environments as well. So you can run a huge system in AWS and Azure as well at the same time. And obviously we run on-premise systems as well, so we can run on bare metal if you like. The adoption of these huge systems is growing year by year. Right now, 7 out of the 10 top global banking companies are our customers. 9 out of the 10 top global in telecommunications. We have 29 different government customers, 6 out of the 10 healthcare, and 8 out of the 10 top global technology companies as well. Let me give you a couple of examples of our customers. The first one is British Telecom, one of the biggest telco companies in the world. And in the recent years, they had a problem with customer churn. So they wanted to understand and wanted to decrease customer churn. So what they did, they implemented a machine learning system where they analyze all the data which coming in from different vendors, so they can understand customer engagement better, and it is totally automatized. So they don't need to do anything manually. They understand customer churn, and they saved millions of dollars in the last couple of years. The next example is Faurecia. This is one of the biggest supplier for automotive companies, like Volkswagen or the PSA group. And what they did, they wanted to improve quality of their products and their production uptime in their production systems. So they analyze millions of data points of different sensors in their production system. They measure temperature, pressure, vibration, and once they have all that data, they merge together the data with quality data at the end of the production line. So together with the two, they can improve the quality and they can increase the production uptime. MasterCard had a problem with their vendors. So they have different vendors around the world, and it turned out they wanted to detect fraud because it turned out there are many businesses which is basically fake, and they try to trick MasterCard basically. And they implemented a machine learning system where they analyze all the data which is coming in from the different vendors, and they could detect patterns which business is fake. So they saved millions of dollars as well, and they increased their security. A couple of more examples. Caesars Entertainment is a huge business. It's not just Las Vegas and the casino itself. They run many hotels and many different businesses around the world. And they wanted to improve the customer experience across all the properties and all the services. So they analyze unstructured data. They analyze calls from their service desk. They analyze clickstream data, reservations, IoT devices around the hotels and the casinos as well. So they can feed all that data into their prediction engine, and they can recommend better services for their customers. Komatsu is one of the biggest supplier for mining operations. They have huge machines, and they wanted to introduce predictive maintenance and obviously increase the uptime of their machines. So what they have roughly 30 terabytes data in each month, unstructured data, and they collect 30,000 different data points about a huge truck like that in every minute in our platform, and so they can predict when something will happen with that machine, so they can avoid downtimes. And last but not least, Thomson Reuters provides insights for their customers, and they wanted to analyze Twitter feeds. Basically, Thomson Reuters automatically, with a machine learning system, analyzes 30 million different tweets each day. So they can say about one tweet, is it trustworthy? Does it contain any meaningful information for their customers? And basically, it happens less than 40 milliseconds by tweet. Let's have a couple of words about Budapest. We opened the office roughly 3 years ago. The other offices of the company, this is a Silicon Valley company, so basically the headquarters is in Palo Alto and San Francisco. We opened another office in Texas, Austin, and the fourth office where we have engineering is Budapest. Right now we have around 150 employees in the region, in the office. Out of those 150, we have 70 engineers, which grows with 30, 40 each year. So we are growing the presence in the region constantly. We release more than 25 releases of the whole platform from Budapest, and we own roughly 14 open source components, the development of these components in the region. These components, just a couple of examples, we implement, we develop, and we release Kafka, Impala, Spark, which is mainly the machine learning engine, Scoop, Hive, HDFS, HBase, and many other components as well. These components are typically open source, but we have a very strong presence in the open source communities, and this is, I think, one of the best product offices right now in the region. Thank you. That's it. I have one more minute.